You ever witness a man snap so hard it silences an entire live stream? Because that's exactly what happened when Stephen A. Smith locked eyes with Travis Hunter through a phone screen and unloaded on him like a fed-up uncle who's been holding his tongue way too long. 1 second, it was just another Instagram Live. The next, a full-on intervention. And it wasn't about football. It wasn't even about the game. It was about love, money, and a marriage that had the entire league whispering behind closed doors. You married her with no prenup? That was the moment. The line that froze the comments section. Travis didn't blink. He didn't nod. He just sat there, jaw clenched, as Stephen A. kept going. You could tell this wasn't for clout. This wasn't a hot take. It was real frustration. The kind that comes when you see a young star sprinting toward a cliff with everyone too afraid to shout stop. But here's the thing. It wasn't just about the prenup. Because by the time Stephen A. finished, the internet was already on fire with receipts, old videos, and secrets fans were never supposed to see. And that's when things got really messy. To understand why Stephen A. Smith lost it that day on Instagram Live, you have to rewind. Not just a few days, not just to the wedding, but months before Travis Hunter ever said "I do." Because this isn't just a story about a young football star getting married. This is a story about pressure, about whispers in locker rooms, text threads between players, and quiet looks exchanged at press conferences when no one thinks the cameras are rolling. Let's start with Travis Hunter, the golden boy of college football. The one everyone said was built different. Two-way phenom, Heisman winner, projected NFL top pick, endorsement deals on the table before he even graduated. And at the center of it all, his relationship with a girl named Liana Lay. Now Liana wasn't some tabloid socialite. She wasn't trying to be famous, at least, not at first. She was quiet, stayed off camera, posted normal couple stuff, hugs after games, birthday slideshows, the usual. But even then, fans were picking apart. Every post like detectives at a crime scene. Why does she look so stiff? Is she really proud of him? Or just along for the ride? Didn't she say in an old podcast that Travis wasn't her type? That one resurfaced quick. A dusty clip from 2021 where Liana, back when she was just a college sophomore, laughed during a Q&A and admitted that she didn't find football players attractive. But fans took that 10-second soundbite and ran with it like it was an FBI wiretap. She only wants him now because he's rich, one Reddit thread claimed. She's plotting. Just wait. Still, Travis never flinched. He kept her close, brought her to games, flew her out for events. And in December 2024, right after snagging the Heisman, he dropped a bomb on Instagram, engaged. The ring? Massive. The caption? Simple. Forever. And just like that, the football world exploded. You'd think people would be happy. Young love, black excellence, power couple energy. But instead, the knives came out. Fast, fans turned into investigators. Old photos, follower lists, DM leaks. One video from a college party showed Liana dancing, not even kissing, with a guy no one recognized. See? The comments said. Gold digger. Untrustworthy. She's hiding something. Even former pros started chiming in. One NFL vet posted, then deleted a tweet saying, "Get a prenup, young blood. You're about to learn the hard way." But Travis? Silent. Loyal. Unbothered. Then came the wedding date announcement, May 24th, 2025. A summer ceremony, exclusive, no press, invites, no media circus, just family and friends. Or so they thought. Because somehow, right as they were cutting the cake, an old 2020 DM leak hit the blogs. Flirty messages, no confirmations, no timelines, just enough to cast doubt. And it spread like wildfire. But that wasn't even the worst part. What really lit the fuse was that he didn't sign a prenup. Not a rumor, not a guess. A verified statement from someone close to the family. No prenup was signed. Travis wanted full trust, and that was all Stephen A. Smith needed to hear. Because for weeks, the ESPN veteran had been watching it all unfold. The online breakdowns, the tears on camera, the smear campaigns, the silence from Travis, the vultures circling, and when Stephen A. finally decided to speak up, it wasn't on first take. It wasn't in an op-ed. It was face-to-face, Instagram Live, unfiltered, unapologetic. And his first words, "You married her. With no prenup?" That's when the room went silent. Because what Stephen A. said next wasn't just loud, it was personal. The minute Travis Hunter announced his engagement, a quiet storm began to brew. But by the time May rolled around, that storm had become a full-blown media cyclone. What began as whispers in group chats and side eyes from older players escalated into something no one, not even Travis, was ready for. At first, it was just subtle. A few viral tweets from burner accounts, a meme here, a reaction video, there. But social media moves fast, and when it smells drama, it doesn't just spread, it multiplies. And it all started with a single clip. A blurry video from someone's IG story, long forgotten, suddenly re-uploaded by a fan page that seemed suspiciously well-informed. In it, Leanna was seen at a college party, dancing with another guy. Nothing scandalous. No kissing, no touching. But the way she smiled, the way she moved, that was enough for the internet to crown it as Exhibit A in the court of public opinion. This the girl he gave $46 million to? She's been scheming since college. Watch how fast she gets that ring and bounces. The replies snowballed. TikTokers started making timeline breakdowns of Leanna's past. Reddit threads popped up overnight with titles like, "The receipts on Travis Hunter's fiancé are wild." YouTubers ran with clickbait like, "The truth about Leanna." Lay, gold digger, or misunderstood? And then, like a match to gasoline, an old interview clip resurfaced. Leanna, on a now-defunct podcast from 2021, laughing with friends and casually admitting, "I don't usually go for athletes. Not really my type." That line hit the blogs like a brick. Never mind that she was a teenager when she said it. Never mind that people change. The internet didn't care about context. It had its narrative, and it was sticking to it. But while trolls threw accusations, something deeper, something colder, was happening behind the scenes. Sources close to Travis's team leaked that agents had begged him to sign a prenup. Not as a sign of distrust, just protocol. Standard stuff, one insider said, especially for a rookie contract that big. But Travis? He said no. "If I love her, I trust her." That's what he reportedly told his lawyer, and the room went silent. Some called it romantic, others called it reckless. But one thing was clear. It opened the floodgates. Des Bryant, yes, the former Cowboys receiver, took to Twitter in a now-deleted post. "Y'all might not like it, but that boy Travis just made $1 million mistake. Love don't pay. The lawyer bills." Then came Dr. Umar Johnson, who jumped into the conversation with his trademark intensity. Another Black king giving his generational wealth away. "She is not one of us. Y'all don't hear me, though." The comments were brutal. Racial, cultural, personal. Even Bow Wow, of all people, chimed in during a podcast appearance, warning young athletes not to lose their bag trying to impress a girl who didn't even want you at first. Each new voice added pressure. Every opinion pulled Travis deeper into the spotlight. But through it all, Leanna remained silent, until she wasn't. Weeks before the wedding, she posted a tearful Instagram story. No filters, no glam, just raw. She didn't say much, but her eyes did. Puffy, red, exhausted. "Sometimes I wish I could shut it all off," the caption read. "The hate, the rumors, the lies. It's too much." That video hit harder than any podcast segment. Suddenly, fans were split. Some doubled down, saying she was manipulating public sympathy. Others saw a young woman being publicly dragged for simply loving someone famous. But the real breaking point? The Heisman clip, December 2024. Travis wins the most prestigious award in college football. The crowd erupts. His mom jumps to her feet. So does Coach Prime. But Leanna? She stays seated. That split second, where she didn't immediately cheer or rush the stage, became the internet's new obsession. She didn't look proud. Look at her face, stone cold. You can tell she's not really happy for him. Never mind the fact that in interviews, she later explained she was waiting respectfully for his mom to have her moment. That Coach Prime told her to go up, that she was overwhelmed. None of that mattered. The narrative was already built. She didn't jump, so she didn't care. Meanwhile, Travis, he tried to stay above the noise. He tweeted motivational quotes. He focused on training. But behind the scenes, his inner circle was reportedly scrambling PR teams, lawyers, branding managers, even Deion Sanders himself. They all gave the same advice: protect the bag. But Travis wouldn't budge, and that's when Stephen A. Smith entered the chat. He'd stayed quiet, watched the drama unfold, listened to the rumors, and then, after Leanna's IG story, the crying one, hit 10 million views in 24 hours. Stephen A. had enough, not in a tweet, not on First Take, but on Travis Hunter's Instagram Live. Nobody saw it coming. Travis was doing a chill Q&A with fans, talking training camp, sneakers, game day rituals. Then suddenly, a request to join the stream popped up. Stephen A. Smith. The chat exploded. Wait, is that really him? No way, bro's about to get cooked. It's about to go down. And it did. The moment Travis accepted the request, Stephen A. wasted no time. His face was tight. No smile. No smile. Voice low, but firm. Travis, you my guy. I'm a fan. But I gotta ask you, and I'm dead serious right now, you married her with no prenup? Boom. The internet stopped. Even Travis looked stunned. He tried to laugh it off, said something like, "We're solid. It's love, bro." But Stephen A. wasn't laughing. No, no, no. This ain't jokes. This ain't First Take. I'm not talking football. I'm talking life. You're 23. You're walking into the NFL. You're about to have more money, more attention, more pressure than you've ever imagined. And you telling me you didn't protect yourself legally? He shook his head. That's not love, Travis. That's naivety. The comments section turned into a war zone, Stephen preaching Farrar. Bros being real and nobody wants to hear it. Let that man live. But Stephen wasn't finished. He turned his attention to Leanna, not by name but by implication. I've seen the clips. I've seen the tears. I've seen the posts. But let me tell you something. Social media doesn't care about your feelings. They don't care if she cries. They don't care if you ride or die. They want drama. And every time y'all post, every time y'all defend your love on camera, you feeding the wolves. He paused, then added, you want peace? Stop explaining yourself to people who don't love you. Protect your relationship like you protect the football. Tuck it, run it, and never let go. That was the moment. The one that shifted the whole story. Not because Stephen A. dragged Travis, not because he disrespected Leanna, but because he told the truth. The kind of truth no one else had the guts to say. And what happened after that only made things even messier. Stephen A.'s words didn't just echo, they detonated. Within minutes of that Instagram Live ending, the clips were everywhere. TikTok edits, YouTube breakdowns, Twitter threads dissecting his tone, facial expressions, even his pauses. He wasn't joking, one user tweeted. That was father energy. But the most viral moment? The clip where Stephen leans in, his voice low, almost a whisper. You're about to hand your entire future to someone the internet doesn't even trust. That line was the punch. The knockout. The spark that made the whole situation go nuclear. By why? Morning, every sports blog and gossip page had picked it up. TMZ'd. Stephen A. checks Travis Hunter live over no prenup. Bleacher Report. Stephen A. gets personal with Travis Hunter. Hollywood Unlocked. Is Leanna Lee a problem? Stephen A. thinks so. Leanna's name was now trending worldwide. Not Travis's, not Stephen's. Hers. The focus shifted from Travis's mistake to Leanna's character. And that's when the emotional meltdown happened. Leanna took to Instagram again. Not a story this time. A full video. No makeup. Hoodie on. Her voice was trembling from the start. I'm not gonna let people tear me apart anymore. I'm not perfect, but I'm not some villain. She tried to stay calm, but halfway through, her composure cracked. Everyone has an opinion, and none of y'all know me. You don't know what I've sacrificed, what I've put up with. She ended the video in tears. I'm tired. And it only made things worse. Comments poured in by the thousands. You're playing the victim. You knew what you were signing up for. This isn't love, it's manipulation. Even fellow influencers started reacting. One podcast host said, "Sis crying on camera while sitting on a $2 million ring is wild." Suddenly, the narrative wasn't about Travis being naive. It was about Leanna being dangerous. Meanwhile, Travis tried to clean up the mess. He posted a short message on X, formerly Twitter. I love my wife. Y'all don't know our story. Stay out our marriage. But it was too late. The media wasn't letting go. Then came the wedding leak. Someone, no one knows who, leaked parts of the private ceremony footage. Not just photos, full video. The footage showed Travis giving an emotional speech about how he met Leanna. But what grabbed the internet's attention? The moment where his voice cracked and he said, I knew she was the one the day she said no to me. That quote made headlines. Commentators twisted it into a narrative. She rejected him until he got rich. The moment was weaponized. Again. Even ESPN had to issue a statement distancing itself from Stephen A.'s comments, saying, while Stephen A. Smith's views are his own, they reflect his passion for protecting young athletes and not the views of our network. But the drama wasn't done, because someone else joined the fire. Someone fans didn't expect. Coach Prime Deion Sanders, Travis's mentor and college coach, posted a cryptic message on his IG story. If it ain't kingdom, it ain't worth it. No names, no tags, just that. But the internet knew exactly who it was aimed at. People started speculating. Was Coach Prime against the marriage all along? Was this his way of saying I told you so? It didn't help that an old clip resurfaced from a Colorado team meeting in 2023 where Deion told players, watch who you bring into your circle. Some folks come to distract your destiny. The comments section connected dots faster than Reddit detectives. He was talking about Leanna back then. Coach Prime tried to warn him. The narrative was now out of control. Travis went silent. No posts, no lives, no public appearances. Leanna deactivated her Instagram completely, but the silence didn't help. It fueled more rumors, divorce rumors, cheating rumors, alleged NDAs. Tabloids ran wild, Radar Online. Sources claim Travis is having second. Thoughts media takeout. Is Leanna already shopping a tell-all? And just when it felt like the fire couldn't burn any hotter, Travis's mom stepped in. In a surprise move, she posted a Facebook status that instantly went viral. A mother knows. That's all I'm gonna say. 6 words. That's all it took. Speculation exploded. Did she never approve of Leanna? Did she warn Travis, and he ignored her? Was this why Leanna stayed seated at the Heisman? It all fed into the growing theory that Travis's inner circle had been against the marriage from day one. And now that things were imploding publicly, they were done staying silent. Even sports analysts started weighing in, turning Travis's love life into a talking point. This isn't about feelings anymore. This is about business. You're a brand, a franchise, a future, and you didn't protect yourself. And with every new headline, every new tweet, the pressure mounted. People weren't just watching a relationship crumble, they were watching a potential NFL dynasty begin to fracture before it even started. That's when Stephen A. returned with one more message. This time, not on IG, not on ESPN, but in a sit-down podcast interview. I said what I said. Because I've seen too many young black men get chewed up by this league and by the wolves waiting outside it. I don't care if I catch heat. I'm not going to watch another one go down smiling. He looked straight into the camera. If you're mad at me for caring, then you never cared about him in the first place. The clip went instantly viral. And just like that, Stephen A. wasn't the villain anymore. He became the only one willing to say out loud what everyone else was whispering. And Travis? Still silent. But silence doesn't protect you forever. Because the league was watching, and so was the world. The silence was deafening. After the podcast interview dropped, and Stephen A. doubled down on everything he said, Travis Hunter disappeared from the public eye. Not a tweet, not a clip, no practice, footage, nothing. And that silence did more than raise eyebrows. It split the entire internet in two. On one side were the fans who had stood by him since Jackson State, the ones who saw him as the next face of the NFL. They believed in his talent, his story, and yes, even his relationship. But on the other side, chaos. Gossip channels, ex-players, influencers, and millions of casual fans who now had opinions. Opinions about his marriage, his judgment, and his future. Twitter was a battlefield. Travis is in too deep. Stephen A. didn't lie. That man needs better people around him. Imagine throwing away your whole legacy over a girl who ain't even clap at your Heisman ceremony. And in the middle of it all, Leanna remained offline. Completely. That was until one tweet set the internet on fire. A verified sports gossip account posted a blurry screenshot of a wedding registry from an anonymous source, claiming it belonged to Travis and Leanna. One of the items listed? A $30,000 Baccarat crystal centerpiece. The replies were ruthless. Girl trying to live like royalty. That's why there was no prenup. She already knew. Travis really paid for a luxury breakup starter pack. The backlash started spilling offline too. Sports radio hosts brought it up during morning shows. Debate panels on YouTube were ranking this drama alongside iconic NFL scandals. Fans showed up at training camp wearing t-shirts that read, "Should have got a prenup." Even brands started pulling back. One major athletic brand reportedly paused a campaign that was set to launch around Travis's rookie year debut, quietly but deliberately. We're reassessing the timing of our partnerships to align with brand integrity, their PR team stated. Translation? They didn't want to be attached to the circus. But while sponsors hesitated, the players started choosing sides. Several NFL vets took to their platforms. Some voiced support, others warned him publicly. It's not about love or hate, it's about protecting your empire. Young King, don't let public pressure break your home. Then came Angel Reese. The WNBA star, never afraid to speak her mind, posted an Instagram story that simply read, "Let that man love in peace. Y'all don't even know her." Boom. That opened the gates for women across the sports world to chime in. Some backed Leanna, praising her for her silence. Others pointed out the double standard, the way women are expected to be flawless, supportive, and always smiling, while men get to be messy and still get praised for learning. The debate got so loud that even ESPN's morning shows couldn't avoid it. A panel of hosts spent 10 minutes arguing whether Travis Hunter's personal life should be news at all. One host said, "This is a young couple trying to survive fame. They deserve grace." Another fired back. Sure, but when your relationship affects your draft stock and sponsorships, it stops being private. That comment set off another internet war. Fan-made documentaries started circulating on YouTube, complete with timelines, visual evidence, and quote overlays like it was a true crime series. One video titled, "The Rise and Risk of Travis Hunter." From Heisman to Heartbreak, gained over 2.5 million views in under 48 hours. And the public wasn't the only one analyzing things. NFL scouts and executives were reportedly watching too. One insider told a sports blog, "Teams aren't judging his life. They're judging his decision-making. And this whole saga is a red flag. It wasn't about whether he married for love. It was about optics, discipline, focus, everything that franchises weigh before signing massive contracts." Meanwhile, Leanna's past kept being dredged up. Old classmates were interviewed. High school photos were pulled from yearbooks. People who hadn't spoken to her in years suddenly had opinions. She was always ambitious. She knew how to work a room. And then, the most heartbreaking moment hit. A TikTok surfaced. Old footage from December 2024. Leanna, sitting in a bathroom, crying while a soft motivational sermon played in the background. Her caption was simple. "I wish I could go back and hug December me." The amount you can grow and develop in just 6 months of devoting your life to Jesus and getting away from the shackles of the world in social media is truly astounding. It was vulnerable, raw, unfiltered, but it didn't land the way she hoped. Critics accused her of emotional manipulation. Some thought it was new footage, reigniting divorce rumors. Blogs ran wild again. Only a few people caught the detail in the high caption. It was recorded months ago. A relic of pain, not a cry for help. Still, it showed something important. She was growing, healing, and choosing peace over headlines. And it made fans ask, if she's walking away from the chaos, why is the world still dragging her back in? Because drama sells, even when the truth doesn't. But there were flickers of hope. Shader Sanders, Travis's former teammate and friend, finally spoke out. In a candid live stream, he said, "Y'all treating this man like he ain't human. He's got pressure on him y'all couldn't handle for 5 minutes. Show some respect." That moment hit differently, because it came from someone who'd been there, lived it, not just watched it from a screen. Still, the damage was done. Travis Hunter was no longer just the Heisman winner or the NFL's